Hello, what good? Playing Need for Speed 2015. One car challenge. This is gonna be interesting. Man, I don't like the always online. That's always gonna mess me up. Finding players for you to join. Truly incredible. Truly incredible. Ba-dum, 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 boom, 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 ba-dum. Yes, good man. Damn! Bruh, that's a police brutality right there. Poor man. I'll do that later. Ramen's not really my thing. $2,500. Not gonna lie, I think the wing still looks kind of goofy. Yeah. Gonna stream for like 30 minutes. Wait till my girl comes over, type shit. Okay, yeah, weird. This is not gonna be easy. Especially with you in the way.
very lucky to have an extraordinarily talented group of people working for me. They were all recruited by Bubbles. He is the man who created this.
First met Alexander Hesketh. I was basically dealing in used cars and sell those at wedding receptions.
I never at that moment thought about Formula One. Bubbles was building a little F3 car called the Dazzle and was looking for another driver. Acquired the services of James Hunt. I had no idea who James Hunt was. I never heard of James Hunt, never met James Hunt.
James was driving the Works Formula 3 March. Don't know what happened, but he got fired. So I said, would you like to drive for us?
The difficulty was the car wasn't really competitive. And I said to Bubbles, this is getting quite expensive.
It dawned on me pretty quickly that, well, what are we going to do? So we both thought, well, why don't we do Formula One? We'll make a complete hash of that, and then we can get on with the rest of our lives.
I knew absolutely nothing about car racing. You knew one person in charge. That one person was Bubbles. He made the calls.
We decided to hire Harvey Postlethwaite, who then was an engineer technically running a March Formula 2 team, and we got him so drunk, he said, yes, I'll come and work. Nigel Stroud joined us with Harvey from March, so we not only came away with the March chassis, but we also had personnel who changed the SQS.
First of all, I started off as a mechanic. I then ended up as a race engineer because nobody else was there to do it. Harvey Postlethwaite, he phoned me one morning and said, look, I've been offered a job at Hesketh Racing, come and join me. So yes, I said, why not?
What happened was we went to Monaco.
Lord Hesketh and his team are desperate to win the World Championship for themselves and for Britain. But basically, it's the Hesketh style that counts anyway. And it's the publicity-attracting style that comes of being a rich, charming, incredibly single-minded young baron that's already put England back on the racing map.
We arrived at Monaco, and we had a big yacht in the harbour. We had a Belljet Ranger on the quay alongside the yacht. In those days you could get entries. I mean, we weren't constructors, we were running a customer march. We introduced the bear at Monaco. Originally it was a Dick Bruin bear. Alexander put a helmet on it with a Union Jack with Hesketh Racing underneath, and that became our sort of image. Bear power! And the bear became the sort of symbol and the motto. The press was pretty interested in us. We got an awful lot of press. We had to sort of slightly pinch ourselves running in the Grand Prix, and everybody sort of interested in us. And we thought we ought to try and deliver. I think we qualified 15th, 16th, something like that.
James, he'd never been in a GP in his life, and he'd done very few F2 races, so we really had a terrible amount of expectation.
Two-thirds the way through the race, we were running sixth and on for a World Championship point. And the engine blew up.
We finished classified ninth. Well, that's practically better than we'd ever finished in any race in much lower divisions, so to speak. I got more pleasure out of it than the guy who won the race.
And we went to the French Grand Prix. We came sixth at that.
Then we got to the British Grand Prix, which was actually the most influential race of that year for us. That car was designed for Silverstone. I think that James could have actually won that Grand Prix. He was in the right car, in the right place, on the right day, and the car was running right. If Scheckter hadn't taken our airbox off in an idiotic crash, took the airbox off and took 400 RPM off the top of the car's performance, but he was running third.
From then on, attitudes changed from all the other teams. We were sort of treated as equals rather than, who are these, what is this joke that's arrived?
of smoke around a racetrack, which was all too often in those days. You knew it was bad. God, just ran straight across the track.
I've never seen this. What people, I suppose, today don't realise is that the marshals didn't have flame-proof overalls. People now say, why didn't they get that quicker? One of the differences was they too burned.
We knew Roger quite well, Roger Williamson. So he was one of us really, and to lose him that weekend was horrible. We had a good result, but there was no real celebration afterwards. You just have to carry on. Well, there's two highlights of Watkins Glen. One was the hog. The night before the race, there's a lot of drinking in the woods behind the pits, and I think they set a bus on fire at one stage. The US Grand Prix, François Seber lost his life. Very tragic weekend, and Tyrrell withdrew. So we were, I suppose, 2 cars down in our attempt to win the race. And then we finished second, I think.
If you look at the visitors book at my home, most of the people who signed it who were drivers, over half of them got killed racing.
That season was pretty straightforward. We were making progress pretty much every race.
The 73 season was very successful with the March. When we hired Harvey, the intention always was to build a car, to have our own car.
I was the draftsman, hence the nickname Pencil. Now I look at some of the cars and I distinctly remember drawing the components, even after all this time. I joined just after the team had moved to the stable block at Easton Neston.
Well, Easton Neston was the Hesketh estate, Lord Hesketh estate.
Damn, how
You entered the
yo, how fast was he going? Damn,
stables.
got him locked up.
What I saw.
It was a whole felony stop and everything.
Obviously, we couldn't carry on running this March car forever. The March car was a horrible, nasty little thing. It's a Formula 2 car with a couple of bag tags strapped to the side of it. Winter was quite intense, designing and building a new car, and we were working up to Christmas Day to get it finished.
And we rode it out on Christmas Day morning. Then the car got sent to Sao Paulo. It turned up too late for practice. The disappointing part was that we took it out on Monday morning on a completely empty Sao Paulo, and it was quicker than the pole position time on Saturday. The people who thought the team were a bunch of deranged amateurs, renegades, playboys, whatever, actually were a great advantage, because there's nothing like a bit of criticism to encourage you to make an effort. The less friendly their comments, the more encouragement we took from it. I think if I look back, I'd say, well, what are the big moments? Silverstone was the biggest.
It wasn't a World Championship race, but everybody was there. The Ferraris were there, Lotus was there till...
We did 10 laps in qualifying before we were on pole. We never got challenged. Sunday morning, thinking things looked great, and the flag dropped, great excitement, dust, noise, so you can't really see what's going on. They come round, no sign of James. He's 14th. What's happened? No radios, no communication, no one can see.
We had to wait until next lap when he came past at full speed to know that everything was okay.
Then things look up, because he comes round, this time he's about 13th, 12th, 11th, and then he comes round 3 more laps, 10th. Right, so way before anyone could see anything. I couldn't see it, there was no picture, there was no screen, it was James taking Ronnie on the inside, 2 wheels on the grass at 165 miles an hour.
Came right through the field and won it at a canter. When the flag dropped, there was sort of relief and euphoria. Gosh, have we really done this, or is this a dream?
Then he came in, and then we saw what had happened. There was no flesh left in his hand. The gear shift had broken at the start, and he changed by putting the broken part into his hand. That takes some doing, even with the adrenaline of that kind of event. An extraordinary drive, in extraordinary circumstances, with extraordinary physical courage. And we had a lot of champagne afterwards. What are we doing here?
That's the dreaded gear lead.
Dreaded gear.
Is that it?
Is that the one we tried to break in the vice?
Harvey came back and challenged anybody to break one in the vice. All the mechanics, even the trucker, a huge guy, could not break it. So it just shows how much adrenaline. I walked down the pit lane because I wasn't at the meeting proper, and the car had just come in, so I dashed down to the pit lane to find out why, and your mother came towards me up the pit lane. I won't tell you the swear words.
I know, it's the only time I ever heard her use it.
Blank.
Nigga, weren't you in the fucking station not too long ago, buddy?
Reliability was a problem with the 308. The gear lever braking, it had happened before.
We had 6 DNFs, fuel leak at the tank, drive shaft, breakages, we had CV joint failure. Because in those days, we were racing, we were testing. Then after that year, going into 75, amount of work which had been done over the winter, we were more confident of reliability.
We created the 308B.
All sorts of things that Harvey had come up with that would have improved the car, certainly spelt that this car should be a winner.
We started 75 in a confident frame. The first Grand Prix that year was Argentina. James was, I think he was running about 6th or 7th, and he came through to finish in 2nd, which was pretty impressive.
The great moments of excitement followed very rapidly by disaster. Spanish Grand Prix 75, only 3 cars in it, 2 Ferraris, James, and the 2 Ferraris have each other off. We've got 56-second lead. I mean, 56 seconds is a big lead. and then James forgets what an oil flag is and slides very graciously into the barrier.
But halfway through 75, the money started to become very tight. Cash flow was, I suppose, not flowing. I had a call from the sheriff of Northampton who said, "We've got to come and seize some equipment." And I looked across out of my office, and Alexander's Rolls Royce was sitting in front of Easton Neston, the house. Alexander came back from London and said, "Bubbles, where's my Rolls Royce?" And I said, "Well, I've sold it." And he said, "You've done what?"
It was difficult because we couldn't get a sponsor. I remember going to 2 meetings on the same day in New York with 2 major sponsors. And both of them said exactly the same thing. They said, "Oh my God, we love the team. This is fantastic. This is absolutely terrific. But you know, one of the problems we've got is you guys get too much publicity. You guys are the stars. And that's bad for the brand."
The 75 Dutch Grand Prix was quite strange.
In Holland, again, it was a race I didn't go to. Quite a few of us didn't.
Me and Nigel Strode had to stay behind.
Harvey was working on the 308C car, the new car, and he didn't come. Then rain was predicted. And it started to rain on the morning of the race. And we said, "Okay, what are we going to do? We know the car's balanced, it's working well. I'm not sure we should change it." Everyone else was going to wet conditions. We leave it in dry conditions, mainly because we were too scared to change it in case we completely bogged it. The race started in the wet, and we brought him in after about 7-8 laps. The dry line was on the circuit. Nicky and Regazzoni and the Ferraris, who were clear favourites to win it, came in probably 4 or 5 laps later. And by the time everything settled down, James was in the front, in the lead. The Ferraris, they couldn't get past him on the straights because the difference, they were on full wet settings, and it cut their speed advantage.
We had the radio going all the time in the workshop, so we stopped work 3 or 4 laps to go. And we go, "Oh, can he do it? Can he do it?" We just couldn't believe it actually happened.
He drove a flawless race. I have to say the feeling at the end of that was like, I've never felt anything like that before. Joy that we'd done it.
I was driving, I came up to a red traffic light just as James crossed the line. I was ecstatic, punching the air, not realising the lights had changed. I looked in my mirror and the couple in the car behind were laughing.
Gosh, amazing. We finally found our pot of gold. A Formula One win. Mr. Driver. Or Superstar, as Alexander called him.
He looks so good there. I mean, when I say he looks good in the sense that he knows he's done something which I think he's been thinking about for a long time, because he and I never talked about the frustration of that year. But actually, when I look at his face, you can see there's a big smile. It's not so much a smile as you can see, it's just his whole mood's changed. That's so nice to see. So nice to see.
Well, I'm in it to win. It's the competition and the winning the competition and doing a good job. You know, I get a lot of satisfaction if I feel I've driven well. You know, you get experience and you know when you've driven well, and you don't always have to win to have driven well. You're bearing in mind the performance of your car and that sort of thing. But ultimately, you've got to win, and that's the deal.
There's always this factor in of the driver. mean, James Hunt was obviously a spectacular driver. I think that played out afterwards when other drivers got in the same car and couldn't get anywhere near what James had achieved. It was a lot to do with James Hunt.
James, as one would say, not your normal Formula One behaviour on and off the track. James, you know, would sit in the car and light a cigarette up in the car. You think, James, you can't do that.
We didn't see a lot of him after the races. As you can imagine, he was quite quick to disappear.
I think James is an enigma, hugely talented, but I think the big tragedy about James is that he had a lot of talents and he was sort of playing with them to find the one that he was best at. And I'm not sure he ever did.
They were very special days at the fun that we had and hard work.
I mean, the rest of the Formula One world thought we were very strange. We used nicknames for everybody. Ball of string. He arrived with a toolbox that only had a ball of string in it.
Malcolm couldn't be here, so I thought I'd represent him.
When we first come in, a lot of teams thought fun and games and motorhomes, and then suddenly it got very serious when we were quick.
Here's a working mechanic, very skilled man. That's the squad. Chief engineer, team manager.
That was a good documentary, honestly. Call my girl. This game have so little sound. Bro, this would be like world news in the car scene. This would be like world news. Man, this one car challenge. Kind of wanna ditch it because I wanted a car with a bit more customization. God damn it! You know I'm gonna ditch it. I'm gonna ditch it. I want something with a bit more customization. Yo, a Supra for fucking 18K. 32 Ford. That's actually an interesting build. That customs F132. Give me a 40. I love the car costs in this game. They're not like millions of dollars.
They decided that they wanted to do it their way.
Oh, that's my goat right there. If it wasn't so goddamn expensive in real life, that would be my goat. If it was like 400, 500 grand, yes sir. Too bad they're like a mil. These things are like $1 million now. Diablo's like 600, 700K. 458s have held their value very well though. This thing's broken. I'll stick to it. I'll see what I can do with this, but if there's stuff that I just...
Obviously, the new circuit was quite significantly different to the old one. His last race win was a 1-2 with him and Francois Sene in 73. So he had a lot of success at track that was arguably the most dangerous track that Formula 1 car had ever raced on. We went into the European Grand Prix, qualified 14th and 15th.
We didn't qualify where we wanted to, and the Alpine race would come to us a little bit.
All set to go racing at the Nürburgring. Sunny so far, nice and dry, but full cars tricky. Race underway into the first corner. Lewis Barrichello making some good progress at the moment. Makes another move and gains another place. Barrichello on the move.
But the weather changed and kept it wet and dry and wet. We didn't really know what was going on.
Gary and I were running up and down the pit lane trying to see where the rain was coming from. Were we going to come in to stop for another set of tyres, or did we say we were going to go out and stay there?
Barrichello coming into the pits.
As pit stops were coming around, the black flags came in. Rubens pitted. He didn't want to pit gamble on the wet side.
Barrichello tyres off. He's changed the bruised dry tyres. The rain came and
You know what? I think I'm gonna ditch the challenge. Fuck it. I don't care. I want something that I can customize.
competition, who would go onto the podium. So I'm running up there with him. And I looked down and I said, well, you
I'll
go on the
do
podium, you better take
2
your
cars.
rain trousers off so you've got your tartan trousers showing. And that was a way of me saying, you go on the podium.
I've had forgotten that I would have any role to play on the podium. It was wonderful to be there.
Yeah, so let's feel like
racing
I'm
driver
90k.
as a team principal.
Getting Jackie up on the podium is exactly just as good as
This is gonna be insane.
Johnny up on the podium.
Oh man. Champagne everywhere, oh dear. My emotions were very well managed most of my life. And that was a good experience. I was very happy. And to have 2 on the podium at that stage was a dream come true. Oh. What a moment.
Johnny, this is your first ever win for Stuart Ford, and really at the end a terrible run of bad luck. You must have been paid back today.
Yeah, definitely so. We were lucky today, me and Johnny, for sure, because a lot of people dropped out. I really thought I could give this win to Jackie, but I'm happy for Johnny. Both cars to be on the podium is quite remarkable.
But my father and I to create the Stuart Grand Prix together, to have that experience in my life that was so short and so intense, special, and it was an opportunity for me. I mean, I couldn't have done it without my father, and my father wouldn't have done it without me. Well, my father's a Formula 1 icon, as simple as that. Stuart Grand Prix was part of this tremendous record that my father's had in Formula 1.
He's somebody I respect hugely highly. You know, working for him, he was somebody that understood what the car needed to consist of, what the driver needed to do with it, when the driver could do something with it, when the car was not.
Yeah, this might actually be either better or worse, but I don't mind.
That side of it, you know.
I love the sport enormously. Having been a driver, to being the father of a racing driver's son, and to be team principal, it's been a great ride and it still continues to be.
I do like the fenderless look for these. Too bad we don't get like actually thick rear tires. Yeah, I'm just gonna see what the body kits are like for coupe. So we have like the chop top sedan, which is slightly elongated. Sedan, truck, chop roof for the truck. Yeah, I'm a coupe guy. Well, at the same time, I'm really not liking the roof. I guess we can change that. Oh, this is like a convertible, yeah, no. Chop roof for the coupe.
I think we were a kind of disruptive team.
A transformed Formula 1.
Going out and wanting to win every single weekend.
Oh, we don't So they won't give you the fenders, like the actual flowy fenders? Interesting.
We knew we were the underdog, but we didn't think like that.
I enjoyed every single minute.
Yeah.
I first met Eddie Jordan back in 1987 when I was invited to go to Eddie Jordan Racing for an interview for a mechanics role with their Formula 3 team. The interview was being conducted by a chap called Bosco Quinn. Eddie Jordan walked into the room. Bosco! Who's this? Don't hire him. And that was my first meeting of Eddie Jordan. I was lucky enough to start working with Gary Anderson, such an impressive engineer and designer, great at finding a solution for any given problem.
Well, I met Eddie back in the very early 80s, and we were building a Formula 3 car called the Nansen. And Eddie was racing Formula 3 with Rob. So we got to know each other pretty well, really. We were both Irish, so it was something that was, good mates, really. And Eddie came up to me and he said, I'm going to try and put together something with Formula 1. Would you like to come and work for me? And first of all, I told him no, I didn't want to do it. And he phoned my wife a couple of times and got her to convince me that I should give it a shot. Basically, there was a mezzanine floor with all the engineering equipment they had, drills and bits and pieces, and that was going to be the drawing of it. First month really was me finding equipment, some drawing boards, desks, seats, pencils, rulers, all the stuff you might need to draw a car. We started to design the car. Obviously it was a challenge. It's all right dreaming about Formula 1, but I never really believed it for quite a while. The end result is it costs you money, and especially when you're starting. Eddie come in and said, I think I've got the sponsorship to go racing, and you sort of go, really?
Alright. I literally cannot find it, unfortunately. There was something I was looking for, but I just can't find it.
Part of the deal was he had to employ me. So that was the start of that.
Yeah, the side skirts would be like the flowy fenders that you would have gotten back in the day. So if we do pickup truck, I'll do chopped roof pickup truck, then from here we can do what? Oh, is it because of the exhaust? Okay. Like having a little bit of fun.
We didn't know much about Formula 1.
We thought we were well prepared until we got there and realised that once we saw the competition and how they operated,
yeah, so you can have the pickup fenders, but there's something I want. I want...
Something really quite special.
Oh no, you can't do... Oh, that's dumb.
Of course, in that first year, we
Alright.
had to do pre-qualifying.
And we got one car through pre-qualifying.
Qualified 14th. I think for our first time against the opposition, qualified 14th was not bad.
We had a very, very strong race.
So I think we got to 8th.
When we made a pit stop, we hadn't got anybody on the pit wall to do pit signals. So from the next race onwards, I was one of the pit wall boys.
I think we were happy to be running competitive.
But unfortunately, the engine expired just before the end of the race.
Bit disappointed, obviously, not to finish the race. We came away from there with a positive feeling.
Clearly, it was a special car. By the time we got back to Europe, the car was starting to show its true potential.
Leading up to the Belgian Grand Prix, we were in Monza testing. So we were waiting for Bertrand to come the next day. And I got a phone call from Eddie to say, yeah, we've got a bit of a problem.
The shock news came through that Bertrand had been found guilty of grievous bodily harm or something against a little altercation that he had with a taxi driver.
The severity of the sentence seems to be very harsh too, and we will strive in every way possible to see that he is released as soon as possible.
A huge shock. We weren't quite sure what to do.
We need to find another driver.
tried to talk to Ketley Rosberg about him coming out of retirement.
Eddie suggested Damon Hill, Derek Warwick, and Stefan Johansson.
Sunday night, the week prior to the race, Eddie calls him and says, "Oh right, I've done a deal with Michael Schumacher." And I'm thinking, who?
The week before the Grand Prix, and this young kid walked in. We actually pointed him across the road to another building because we thought he'd come to deliver something. This young kid turned out to be Michael Schumacher, and he'd arrived for a seat fitting.
We got offered, I think it was $150,000 a race. Then he went to test at the South Circuit at Silverstone.
It was a circuit that we used to test at regularly because it was just across the road. Probably mainly because it was cheap.
Third or fourth lap, we went quicker than we'd ever go around Silverstone.
Trevor Foster, the team manager, came to me and said,
Yeah, that actually looks a lot better. And now we can do chopped roof.
Something special.
Didn't sign anything, but we shook hands.
Yeah, chopped roof.
It was that evening I went home, met some friends later on, and I said, I think I've just been working with a future world champion.
Oh, Michael's performance in Spa was unbelievable.
He qualified 7th, going up into turn 1. He actually got himself up into 4th position. Unfortunately, the clutches we were running probably weren't the newest clutch you'd ever seen.
Michael retired on the first lap of the race.
I think you could see that he was a man that was very, very confident in his own ability.
The start was quite perfect. I went through places, I think.
Nobody could really ignore him.
Anything interesting?
Michael was in the car as far as we were concerned. He was going to be there for the rest of the season and for the following season when Mercedes was going to pay us $3 million. Seemed like a good deal. However, we had been tipped off that Michael was actually at the Benetton headquarters. Jochen Neerpasch, who was representing IMG, who basically looked after all the Mercedes involvement in motorsport, phoned me and said, "Were we going to be running Ford engines the following year?" "Yes, of course we are, absolutely." There was only one person in the world other than Eddie and myself that knew that we weren't going to be running Ford engines. One Bernard Charles Eccleston. Bernie was trying to renegotiate the German television rights. Suddenly, he had this potential superstar, and he was able to tell the management, "Well, you can't stay there because they're running Yamaha engines next year."
His management group, himself, they all saw the big picture. The Benetton management.
I'm really not a fan of.
And so the council for me. So they wanted.
Oh, thank God.
Benetton was one of the
God.
in the short term.
That's one of my biggest pet
I
peeves.
think that's a quite good step for me, which I did, because
One of my biggest pet peeves. I hate white walls. They are the bane of my existence. They only look good on what I like to call showroom hot rods, or like hot rods you would see in like magazines and shit like that. Yeah, no. Kind of also want to do. Too bad we can't do like.
The guy who went on to be really the greatest racing driver of all time, we allowed him to make his debut. It's a great experience.
I remember well the first time I met Eddie Jordan. I was working for a PR agency, judging PR, and Eddie at the time was racing in Formula 3000. He made an impression even then. I mean, anybody who's ever met EJ knows he makes an impression right from the outset. Ian Phillips and I knew each other, so when they needed a new press officer, that was that. Make sure you tell exactly what Seth said. I was employee number 47 when I joined. You know, you get more people than that in the catering department these days. I felt like right at the centre of where everything was happening. It was great.
During the sort of latter period of 93, we'd gone through various drivers.
Yeah, we gotta reverse that.
Catastrophic year. So we were on the grid in Portugal. Bernie comes up to me on the grid and said, "You can't have any more driver changes. You've had far too many." I said, "Well, we are having one more. I don't know if you can." I said, "Yeah, we've got a driver who's going to do 2 races."
We were testing at Silverstone, and we saw this scruffy-looking bloke wandering into the garage, and so he ended up going to have a word with him. Anyway, he came back and said, oh, it's Eddie Irvine, he's a racing driver. He was sponsored by Cosmo, a Japanese petrochemical company. And obviously our title sponsor at the time was Sasol. We put the Cosmo brand in Japanese so that the guys from Sasol didn't realise. Blinding deal by EJ.
I suddenly get a call from Sasol saying, what on earth do you think you're doing? I didn't know. Anyway, EJ came in on the conversation. He said, Cosmo, I thought it was a magazine, isn't it? A magazine. We bluffed our way through it.
That was how Eddie Irvine made his Formula One debut with us. That's a debut to remember.
Yeah, I'll take that. That don't look too bad. I want to at least try and see what this is like.
Most people will remember
Oh my god.
the fight with Ed Senna afterwards.
Shut the fuck up!
Battle with Damon Hill. Senna came up behind them. Eddie pulled over and let him pass. And then Ed just sat there behind Damon. And I think Eddie's view was, mate, get up or get over. Do you know what I mean? I'm in a battle with Damon, you'll get in the way here, so overtake him, or I'm going to overtake you. And that's exactly what he did.
Didn't really think anything of it. Round of applause, I think, in Gavin. I thought this is good.
Oh, this is some interesting handling. I actually quite like the way this handles. What the fuck?
Little office room was there, Eddie was there, just a few of us, and suddenly, the door.
And then I think with the rest of my money, I'm just gonna build like a little drift car.